Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is 100 days for me on the carnivore slash keto diet. I have lost a total of 68 pounds in 100 days. For me, it's pretty amazing. I'm gonna go through a list of things that that has really improved since being on this diet. The number one thing, and I know I've said this in some of my other videos, is no hunger pains, no cravings. I went into Walmart this morning. I had to go pick up groceries. We do a pickup where we order and go pick it up, but I had to run in and get something. I picked it up at 7 o'clock this morning, and you know what goes on at 7 o'clock this morning? Right as you walk in the door, right there's the bakery. They're cooking donuts. You smell them, and used to be I would like to say, man, I gotta get me a freaking donut, and nope. I smelled them. It smelled good, but it didn't kick in no hunger pain or craving. So that's the number one thing. Number one. Of course, weight loss. I lost 27 pounds the first month. I lost 18 pounds the second month. I lost about 15 pounds the third month. I've lost probably 5 pounds this month so far. I know I just showed a video of me, I still got a little bit of a belly, but I think probably another, or a month and a half, maybe 2 months, that'll probably be gone. The next thing, way less inflammation to hardly any at all. I know I've complained about my knee and my ankle. My knee is totally gone. Every once in a while I get stiffness in my ankle, but the pain is pretty much completely gone now. I was in the car for a while yesterday, and I had some stiffness in it. I get stiffness sometimes anyway, but no pain, no inflammation at all. No more dry skin. I used to get really bad dry skin on the back of my legs and the back of my calves. It would just, you can see chafing, or just dry skin. It's gone. Toenail fungus used to be really bad. I barely have any now. I just trimmed my toenails yesterday and great. Lower resting heart rate. When I first started this, I was looking back on my watch. In May, my resting heart rate was 63. Today it was 55. So that's a pretty low heart rate, which is good, or resting heart rate, which is really good. Way less bowel movements when you do this diet. It curbs your appetite so much that I usually eat once or twice a day. For me, after the first couple weeks, you start losing them cravings and stuff. I was eating breakfast every morning. I couldn't do it no more. I just man, I'm not hungry. So I do usually an 18 to 24 hour fast every day. 16 at the low end, 24 at the high end. I'm usually somewhere between 18 and 22 that I just don't eat, and I have like a 6 to 4 hour feasting window. And I don't get hungry. I have consistent energy. I don't have ups and downs, going up and down. It's just consistent. It's the next thing. A lot of guys don't like talk about this, but when you're as big as I was, at my heaviest, I was 319 pounds. When I started this diet, I was 291. I'd lost some weight over the winter, doing other things, doing intermittent fasting, that kind of thing. But when my dad passed away about 3 years ago, 319 pounds. So I think since my heaviest, I'm over, I've lost over 100. So the next thing, lower blood pressure. I never really had a heart or really bad blood pressure. The highest I can remember, I was looking through some of the charts that I used to keep, 144/94, which ain't great. It's pre-hypertension or level 1 hypertension, I believe. My blood pressure now is consistently 110/70 or lower, consistently. When you take your blood pressure, you need to take a couple deep breaths, make sure you're relaxed, At that state, that's what mine is right now. Between, it's usually 110 over 70 or lower. Skin tags. My skin, I don't know. When you get older, you start getting skin tags. I'm 52. Almost all my skin tags have reduced by 50% or they're gone. I probably had 10 or 12 of them, not a bunch, but it's just something I started lifting weights probably about, this is September the 13th. I started lifting weights, consistently, I believe around July 25th, maybe. So I don't know how many weeks that is. So, I don't know, 6 weeks, 7 weeks. When you lift weights on Carnivore, you get you don't get sore very much at all, if at any of that. I had a really big job where I had to totally clean up a really big property. I did it all by myself. It took me 7.5 to 8 hours to do it. And it wasn't all on a mower where you're just sitting. Most of it was trimming bushes and cutting down trees and raking up debris. And that took, that's 7.5 hours. And I didn't take a break. I didn't take a lunch. I didn't eat the whole day. I didn't eat until I got home that day, that night. I got there at 7. I got home probably around 4, and then I ate. Didn't get hungry, didn't get tired. The next day, I thought for sure I would not be able to get up and mow that day because I had a whole day of mowing ahead of me. I got up and I felt like I was 25. I was running around like I was a kid. I was like, what the heck? There is no freaking way that I would have been able to do that at 291 pounds. No way. And at that time, at that morning, I think I weighed about, this hasn't been very long ago, I was probably 231, 232 pounds, right around there somewhere. And another thing on that, I should have got a sunburn. It was 95 degrees. I drank 2.5 gallons of water that day. I took a big jug with me and drank almost the whole 2.5 gallon jug that I had. And I got no sunburn. I didn't wear any sunscreen. It was 95 out, full sun, humid. I don't understand that at all. No fever blisters. I usually get fever blisters right about this time or a little bit before. This is September the 13th. Usually when my wife goes back to school, but she's a teacher. She goes back in August. She'll bring home something and I'll start getting fever blisters. You get a fever blister whenever your immune system gets compromised. So none of that. No sinus issues, and I normally don't have sinus issues unless it gets really, really dry out and the mowers are kicking up a lot of dust and your nose is running because you're breathing that dust. I normally would have to wear a mask. Heck no. I didn't have any of that so far this year, and it has been incredibly dry in August and in September. Nothing. Here is a really, really big one that I've had a problem with all my life, or not, all my adult life since I was a teenager, is gingivitis and bad breath. I went to the dentist yesterday. They said it was completely cured. No more gingivitis. It's really remarkable. I could feel my teeth were cleaner being on this diet. I think part of it's nutrition, and part of it is the crap that you eat in a standard American diet. All the sugar, all the carbs. You can feel that film on your teeth. I don't feel that no more. Here's a kind of a big one. You can't see it, and I can see it a little bit, but I can start seeing my gray hair starting to turn back to my normal hair color. I mean, how freaking amazing is that? I noticed, and my wife said she can notice it a little bit, big thing on the carnivore diet, a lot of people talk about, you know, when they say they don't want to do it or something, they say it's because it's so expensive. Well, for me, it's been less expensive because I don't buy snacks. I know what I'm eating, and I only eat 1 or 2 times a day. So there you go. I mean, we go out maybe once or twice a week. We have some regular restaurants we go to. I'm usually eating a steak. That's my main go-to, or hamburger, ground beef. Normally I do ground beef at home. I usually don't eat it out. I'm gonna do a video about a couple places that are really good to help you out on this diet. But yeah, normally I eat beef, you know, butter, bacon, and eggs. That was my main go-to for probably the first 2 months of this diet. I was pretty strict. After 2 months, I went ahead and started to incorporate a little bit of fruit, and I kept it mainly to berries. And then I added some watermelon, and it kind of made me crave sugar again. So the first week, I still was losing a little bit of weight. The second week, the first week I was only doing about a cup a day of fruit. The second week, I don't know what happened. I was just going 2, 3, 4 cups a day. And that second week, I was gaining a pound a day. I was like, what the heck? Every time I get on the scale, it'd be another pound, another pound, another pound. I was gaining a pound. So I just, after that week was over, or that 2 weeks was over, I shut it down, went straight back to carnivore, lost that 7 pounds in a week or so, and then started losing again. Now, a couple days ago, I went ahead and I'm trying it again, but I'm going to try to see if I can just do a cup a day and still lose weight. And so far I have. It's been about 3 days, and I think I did lose a pound the other day, so I wasn't gaining, but I did lose, a little bit of weight on it. So there you go. There's 90 days. I'm going to keep going. I mean, I need to, really probably lose another 20 pounds anyway. I'm getting really close to, I'd like to be somewhere between 190 and 200. I think I feel my best at that. I'm pretty skinny at that, but I bet you I have gained probably 5 pounds of muscle over this. I mean, just from the lifting of the weights. I'm gonna show you a couple pictures, probably not in this video, but maybe in a different video, of my upper body, what I looked like before I started lifting, or a couple weeks after I started lifting, because I forgot to take a picture. And then I took one today. I can definitely tell a different size in my shoulders and my arms, and my overall physique. So there were a couple of bad things on carnivore, I guess. Probably the hardest thing to overcome in the beginning was, and I'm gonna do another video of the first 30 days of this, where I actually documented every day. Probably won't post every one of them days, because a lot of them are pretty much the same. It'd be over an hour long and just too long to watch. But the second day, I had such a bad headache. I got what they call the keto flu, and man, I just crashed that day. I didn't do nothing. I laid in bed for went back to bed and went to sleep for about 4 or 5 hours. And the next day I felt fine. I feel a lot better. But another bad thing was, you gotta watch your dehydration and your electrolytes. Once I figured that out, I'd have bouts of, you'll hear me in my 30-day video that I kept feeling lethargic. I don't do that. I don't have that anymore. because you know every day I do this, I'll take at least a dropper of electrolytes just to make sure I get my magnesium, potassium, and sodium. Um, but yeah, it would really make you feel lethargic. And once I figured that out, I was fine. And I think I didn't figure that out until the second month. So I was feeling kind of lethargic, you know, pretty consistently every day for a short time anyway. So there's that. And this is kind of a good thing, but a bad thing. An expensive thing is I went from a 42 pants down to a 36, so I've had to buy new clothes twice now. I didn't buy a lot of them because I knew I'd be, you know, getting smaller. Um, so that kind of gets expensive. Um, I did go from a double, sometimes triple X t-shirt down to a regular X t-shirt, just an extra large. So I did buy several shirts like that. I can't think of any other bad things off the top of my head about this diet. Um, my wife, she got cramps real bad, but once she figured out the electrolyte thing, because she's been doing it with me, she has lost. She started a couple weeks after me, so she started seeing, you know, the improvements and that kind of stuff. And she started maybe 2 or 3 weeks after I did, and she's lost 35 pounds now. And I'm really proud of her. She's done an awesome job. So that's it for me on this 100 days of carnivore. If you got any comments or any questions, just let me know. And like I said, I'll be posting some more videos about my 30-day venture. And I think that's it.